So the City of Coeur d'Alene's Art Commission came together and put out a call to artists for the local artists. You had to be in the state of Idaho, Montana, Utah, Wyoming, Washington, Oregon, or the Providence, Canadian Providence or British Columbia. And we put out a call in early June and went till July. We did get 11 art piece submissions. We met as a small committee, went through them, brought forward 7 pieces, discussed them at the Arts Commission meeting, and then these 6 pieces were asked to be brought forward for council for approval for the Arts Commission, or for the art currents. So the art currents are displayed on city property for a year or 2 years. They are given a $1,000 stipend for their first year, $800 for their second, and it is then gives the citizens or the public the opportunity to purchase the artwork, and because the artwork is sitting on city property, the city would receive a stipend for that. That's the intent of the art currents. So the first art current is this, The Dove, Mi Paloma II. The artist has it priced at $8,000. I guess also the art is placed on city property. We don't have specific spots picked out just yet. We go to Bill Greenwood, our parks and department head, and then kind of find some good spots for all these places. The next one is called Rains. This is O'Keefe 8 and 9. It is made out of a marble slab, and both these pieces are actually separate pieces but are part of a series that the artist has brought to us. This is the largest piece that we would have in our arts currents. It's a very nice big elk made of metal. And this is, I believe, the last piece. So those are the pieces that we are bringing forward. Council does have the ability to approve all, none, or some.
Questions for Stephanie? Go ahead.
Stephanie, would you just take a minute and describe the process and the community volunteers who lend their time to help make the selection, and that it's first the first group, and then it goes to the Arts Commission, and then it comes to us?
Correct. So the first group of the committee that it was brought together was a group of different artists and citizens of the community that were willing to come and help, and we sent out invites to, I believe, 10 people. We had 5 people that were able to make it. It's hard. It's 3 o'clock in a Tuesday afternoon, so we understand, but they all came together. We went through all of the art pieces that were selected. We discussed the location of where the artist was to make sure that they did qualify during the call, discussed the sizes of the pieces, and just went through each and every piece. From there, they selected these pieces, and then we went to the Arts Committee, and at our Tuesday meeting the following week, I believe, and then said these are the ones out of the ones that were submitted through the cafe that we brought forward to, that we enjoyed the most.
Thank you.
Woody? Oh, I'm sorry. Go
I just
ahead.
have one more thing to add. I think it's important to note this because I've mentioned it here before. I really encourage, if you're interested in serving on one of these commissions or committees, a subcommittee of the Arts Commission, I'd be happy to recommend you in that place. It's a great opportunity to review the art and have a say. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Woody?
Stephanie, so there's prices on these. We are not buying these, are we?
No. We are not buying these. The prices that are put on are what the artist would sell them for, like in their own, if they had a studio or something. And so that price would be, if you wanted to buy that piece of art, you would have to pay $12,500.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Kiki?
Stephanie, at one point we had conversations about the artist intent and the story behind this piece being part of the Arts Current program. Has there been any movement in that so that the public would have a way to read about what they were thinking and the history of this art piece?
Sure. So it's really hard for us to put plaques on these because they're only here for a very short amount of time. But on our website, there's always an opportunity to be able to pick up and know exactly what the artist's intent was.
So is the website listed
Yeah.
like on the piece somewhere now, or so that they can follow up? If they wanted to know the history of it, they could follow up with what was going on?
Absolutely, and reach out to staff at the city. We have all of this. We could provide it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dan?
Somebody had mentioned that they hadn't seen this before, so they're, curious what it looks like. But I assume these have been out on the website for a while?
They are not currently posted on our website because they're not part of our current until you guys approve it.
Okay. Well, I guess I
Has
would
been.
just say for future, when it's going to come up, although it was on there because it was in the council packet.
It is in the packet,
Because I
yes.
read it. But, yeah, I think that's something we could probably improve on. And then for the piece, if they do come out, we wouldn't have to have a big bronze plaque, but these days when I go to
Is that your phone?
buy, something at Walmart or something, they got one of those little, boxes of a QR code, and you can put your camera there, and then all of a sudden you got the information. So it seems like that's something, since there's a lot of public interest in that and in intent, that we ought to do something about making sure that information is out there in every way we can and in as advance as we can. So,
Yeah, the
thanks.
QR code's a good idea.
Other comments? Yes.
I don't have any questions of Stephanie, so thank you, though. But mostly, I guess, we'll just have discussion amongst the council on this
Are we there?
topic.
Yeah.
Well, we've listened to a lot of testimony tonight, and it's really heartfelt, almost all of it. There were some that maybe not so heartfelt, more anger, but that comes from the heart, too. This is always a very difficult position because some of you want 7 elected officials to decide for you and our community what art they'll look at. We've heard people tell us what books we should allow our community to read, what music to listen to. I remember the Nelly concert from, a year ago. I don't think you want your elected officials telling you what to look at. With that said, though, I do think we have a responsibility to not be divisive and to not purposely cause people pain. I believe the artist, when they came up with this piece, really does believe that they're promoting solidarity. I don't have any doubt of that. But I think we have to be careful with messaging, always, and how we make people feel, if we can. I struggle with censorship at all. I don't like that. That's not the role of government. And many of you know that I work in the human rights field in my private life. And in the past, the Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations, we did speak out against the hammer and sickle, not because we wanted to be in charge of censorship, not ever, but because we knew how it made people feel, people that had lived in that kind of oppression. So we didn't feel that we could support that being put up in our community, just because of how hurtful it was. So this is kind of reminding me of that, again, even though we all see art differently. And again, I do think that the artist had solidarity in mind, but it's quite clear that this symbol's been co-opted by a number of different groups. Just like elected officials that flash the OK sign, we call them white supremacists. People will co-opt symbols. But sometimes when it's just too much, and it's too much in your face, and something is done that comes across as antagonistic to certain members of our community, I think that's a time for the council to have good discussion about, is this the right thing to do at this time to move forward with the particular piece? Dr. Leffler, I thought you had some great suggestions. Maybe a private exhibit, because we don't want to deny people the right to look at art. And so I guess I would like to look at some of those kind of ideas of when could we offer a private exhibit so people could see it, but also we are mindful of being divisive and harming how other people feel.
Dan? Yeah, hold on just a second. Any more questions for Stephanie?
So you can sit down.
Was this a question for Stephanie, Dan?
Nope, I thought we were done. I would
So
say let her sit.
Let Stephanie sit down, and we'll continue the discussion. Dan?
Thanks.